So welcome to day 3 of the Captain's blog. Do you know what your tuvula is? Have a Google. It's the bit that hangs down at the back of your throat. Well, mine's swollen and is tickling the back of my throat. It's just another thing that's affecting my throat and problems. But I've had a Google and it's very common. It's usually due to drinking too much alcohol. Maybe last night at the ferry house. Smoking, well I don't smoke. A dry atmosphere or not drinking enough water can lead to this to happen. It doesn't hurt at all, it's just that talking feels like there's a bell rattling at the back of my throat. The other problem now with my throat seems a bit better, so that's strange. But so that's the update on my sort of medical issues. What are we doing today? Well, I don't know how much blog footage we're going to get today, but the time currently is 10 minutes past 8 and we're still here moored at the ferry house in Surlingham, and our destination is going to be Norwich. Now we're either going to go all the way into Norwich. Low water at Norwich is about 9:25, so that would give us maximum clearance under Trowse Railway Bridge, and we could moor at the yacht station and then we could go and do what we want to do in Norwich, maybe get the train to Great Yarmouth. Or we could go to Bramerton Common, where I can plug the boat into the electric and use one of my electric cards and top the batteries up, and then get a cab from there into Norwich, and from Norwich we can do whatever we want, and then I can come back and then I can put the money that would have been paid on the yacht station fee towards the cab, and I don't have to worry about the bridge, because as well I don't want to be in Norwich and then think, okay, I'll just pay the day rate of the yacht station, I'll leave now and come and moor at, say, Bramerton, and find that it's high water and I can't get under the bridge, turn round and have to go back and pay the overnight mooring and deal with a busy road and noisy pubs on a bank holiday Monday evening. So it's all, I'm not too sure at the moment, but we're going to have a cruise down there anyway. It's nice and early in the morning. I'll just show you what's going on here. So as you can see, it's a bit of a grey old misty day here. This is a really absolutely lovely pub here. They did some amazing food. Now me and Sheila, hello Sheila.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the camera. We like our steaks.
Oh yeah.
And we usually have the Tuesday special at the Wetherspoons, the Aberdeen Angus. And let's face it, it's good, but it's
same size. I think it's even bigger.
Yeah, well, she had the sirloin steak and I had the rump steak, and it doesn't say on the menu how many ounces these steaks are. And it came with, well, a slab of meat, as many chips as you could see, a flat mushroom, a whole tomato, onion rings and peas.
Yeah.
And you couldn't finish it really at all. You just made a little dent.
Yeah.
I persevered, and then also was, you know, no room for dessert.
I know. I was gonna try their homemade chocolate fudge.
Yeah, that sounded very nice.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was, is that while we were there, it was a really great atmosphere, and while we were trying to get our way through this steak and chips, there was, like, I would say it's a folk band, but it's an eclectic mix of music. Like there was a little saxophone kind of thing and a cello, and anyway, it was that kind of music where you just like want to dance the Irish jig. So that was a really good night in there. So thoroughly, honestly recommend this place. As pubs go, for a good atmosphere and good food, I'm going to say it's the best one I've gone to on the Broads. You know, there are other pubs that are a bit cheaper. There are other pubs that maybe are more for a drinker rather than a sit down and eater. But for an overall experience, I think this is just absolutely wonderful. And if all of they've just got the recipe right, I think. Of course, there's some people might not agree with me and their taste may be different. But for me, they've got the recipe right of really good, wholesome food and a lovely atmosphere with a good selection of drinks to have. And children friendly, pet friendly, and then a really nice location on the river. So anyway, it's time that we left and went Norwich bound. So the gloomy, chilly day continues. What a change to yesterday. We've got the heating going, it's very cold outside. If you go outside, you know, and you're breathing, you can see your breath. It gives an idea of what the temperature is. I haven't actually looked up what it is, but it is a very overcast, drizzly kind of a day. We're entering sort of the outskirts of Norwich. We've just passed shortly under Postwick Viaduct, and the first signs of sort of, you know, life were coming along here. Bramerton Common, sorry, the moorings were absolutely full, and that's because of the early hour that we passed them. I'm sure that during the day boats will leave and they'll be freed up, but my idea of mooring there and getting a cabin is not going to work. So we are going to proceed into Norwich. We will get under the Trouse railway bridge because it's low water, but the average, I think, high water height of Trouse is 8'6". Well, I actually measured the air draft of this boat last night with a plumb line and a spirit level, and well, the plaque on the boat is wrong by 1 whole inch. So yeah, it's 8'9" air draft, this boat. The plaque says 8'10". So sometimes on a boat, you know, it might say, I don't know, 7'2", and if you measured it, it might be sort of 6'10". And they do that, you know, just for an added sort of insurance against, you know, people taking too much risks. But this boat is just plain very tall out of the water, and it's a shame that Princess, when they mould, what does it, what adds the extra bloody inches is the sliding sunshine roof. It doesn't have to be so thick and protruding above the roof line. It adds a good 2.5 inches to the height of the boat, and that is the highest point. So you know, if anything's going to hit a bridge, it's not going to be like the grab rails, it's actually going to be the sunshine roof. I don't know if that's better, I suppose, because then it would suddenly start sliding back. I don't know. I don't intend to hit any bridges. So anyway, as I said, it is a bit gloomy today. I thought today was going to be quite nice. I must admit, I haven't checked the weather, but it won't be very nice to go to Great Yarmouth on a day like today. I mean, I've been told I haven't been to Great Yarmouth. I've visited Great Yarmouth virtually with Google Street View, and I thought it looked quite nice by the sea. But you know, people say, oh, it's Great Yarmouth, oh, it hasn't got this, and all the rest of it. Oh, but on a not a very nice day, it's not that great to be by the seaside. But I did fancy a bit of nice fish and chips, and Sheila wouldn't mind some candy floss or cotton candy.
You're making fun of me.
Got to be careful when you're coming this way into Norwich. There are the rowers. Some of them, like these guys here, will have high-vis jackets, and it will really stand out that they're there. Others won't, and they'll just be wearing like a dark top, and on a murky day and being so low down, it can be challenging to spot them. And of course, bless their cotton socks, they have to row with their back, so they don't see you coming. And even if they do, there is that kind of thing across the country, I think, where rowers, they're like, we're practicing, we're working really bloody hard, we have to look behind us to see where we're going, get out of the bloody way. I mean, there's a great line in Dylan Winter's Keep Turning Left when he was on the Great Ouse in York.
The river was so busy between Neyburn Lock and York, just stacked stuff, and I haven't seen anything this morning apart from some of the rowers, one of whom swore at me for getting in his way. Seemed to think that the sail should give way to rowers. An extraordinary idea. Told me I was on the wrong side of the river. I did get out of their way. You know, he's a young man, full of testosterone. I'm an old bloke, not full of testosterone.
And I love the way the chap comes across in his blogs. We're just coming up here on our right hand side to Freedom boating holidays. Now I suppose it could be an option that you know, we could moor here and get a cab. I've seen quite a few of their boats out today. Well, not today, but down here. I can't remember all their names though. Song of Freedom I've seen. I think I've seen Sweet Freedom.
Spirit of Freedom as well.
Spirit of Freedom, that's the nice sort of sporty looking one. Got a nice new little day boat there that you can hire. So I suppose, oh, that Song of Freedom come back. So yeah, no, just had a short little break over the weekend. Anyway, we're onwards to Norwich bound, and we'll see what we can do as far as moorings go there. Obviously the yacht station's going to be free, but yeah, just wanted to update you basically. Bit of a grey day, and we're not really sure what we're doing, so when we know. There's rowers behind me. Thank you, Sheila. Well, I've slowed down anyway, but I'll move right over to the right hand side.
No, there's a one more going.
Okay. They don't appreciate the
As
rules.
well as the other.
And they're coming on my
Both
left
sides.
as well, so both sides. Okay. Any more?
No more.
No more. They're like the motorbikes of the rivers, I suppose. You know, in traffic and stuff, you're like got to have all your eyes and ears around you. Oh bloody hell! Cut me up on the inside. And the rowers, they're just like, yeah, 3 abreast, boat ahead. We're past either side of him.
At least they know what they're doing.
You think they know what they're doing?
Yes, they do, because you remember the 4 ladies go the opposite side, and I thought they're gonna bump to each other because they're not looking. They're like going to opposite sides. And then that man, the green,
Yeah.
what do you call that one?
Well,
He then move and give way to the ladies because the ladies weren't looking where they're going. So,
as a lady, I think you should be sticking up for your gender.
I know, but
You're
they're-
just confirming what us men know a lot, that the ladies don't know what they're doing, they don't know where they're going.
but
And the man has to give way to them.
mostly we do. But the problem is those ladies are not one of us. They're just some different type of women. I don't know where, but anyhow.
So yeah. I'm not sure what to say to that. I'll update you as and when, more as it happens. Because I suppose there's nothing to stop you mooring along here. There's little mooring bollards. I haven't seen no mooring signs. I don't know what the policy there is. Certainly it's not chargeable. I'm not sure how welcome you'd be or how safe it might be compared to the yacht station. But just of interest anyway. As you can see, this is where we're coming up now. The last, I think this is the penultimate bridge to pass under. So very close now. You can see the Norwich Cathedral,
What's that
big
in the middle?
spire. Sheila's just pointed out there's a bit of sunken something, tree. And then there's the little community here. It seems to have got less and less over the years, and boats that have sunk and been raised and gone and all sorts. Something like that, you wonder how is that staying afloat? And I think it's actually been down and up and down and up and down and up and continues to survive. So we're just coming up to the yacht station, just that one last bridge to go under. I think it's called Town Bridge. Just see one boat at the yacht station moored currently. So it's been a very pleasant motor into Norwich from Surlingham. It's not very far at all, taking things nice and easy. I'll be turning round and coming in on my left hand side. Make things easy because it's on the side of the helm. There's actually a boat in front of us. The Bright Horizon, I believe, from Horizon Craft Acle. Just passing under the bridge. Sheila will be coming in on the left hand side.
Alright.
No need to rush. There have been instances where boats have been set adrift at night, so although it might be annoying to untie when you come to leave, I know why they do it. It's also quite a rise and falling tide here, even though we're quite away from Yarmouth. So here's the point where we're going to turn. Just use our bow thrusters to make things a bit easier. And just as I've turned, there's fine rain now coming down, so the gloom has turned to rain. I'm just going to come in front of Royal's boat here, I think. Just easing off on the power. To tick over. Honey, when you get off the boat, if you want to get ready, you can get off of the boat and then just take the bow rope from the side of the boat.
Alright.
Okay, so if you go out now,
Get off
ready.
first, and then get the rope.
That's right. Get off at the back where it's highest. So we're back to normal on the old blog cam, and we've just walked down through here, one of the main sort of street in Norwich, and we've entered a world of sort of old buildings and tranquility. And I'm pleased I brought my extra battery because we're about to run out of battery power. But we're going to have a look at the Cathedral and some of the other parts of this old city. And I already noticed that my old blog camera is so much easier to hold, and the steady shot as I'm walking, I just stop. It's almost like I'm using a tripod. And because when I hold it out like this, I know exactly where to look, and I can just walk along and it will be good. So I'm pretty annoying Sheila looking like a buffoon. But so we're just going to basically have a wander around somewhere we've both never been before. Never been to this part of Norwich myself. And then we're going to go do some shopping, and we're not going to go to the seaside. We're going to leave the yacht station before high water so I can get under Trouse Bridge. Although the guy at the yacht station, really kind, he said, look, I'll charge you the day rate, and we'll decide later about the bridge heights. So because I said I want to stay overnight. But anyway, so if I do end up staying overnight, I can just upgrade. But if not, then I can just leave and we will find somewhere to moor and then cab for Sheila to get to Norwich to get the train. So they're doing some filming here of something, I don't know what. Let's have a look. So what's all this filming about here? Oh, I see, it's not filming, it's so you can look at the binoculars, because there's a is it a hawk? Well, it says the Hawk and Owl Trust, but there's a something that nests up here somewhere, so you can come and have a look at. This is also a webcam, you can see what's going on. I'm so poor at this, not even knowing what the bird is. Peregrines, falcons, that's what it is. And they're all zooming up there somewhere. Well, there's the video camera. Well, who needs... That's pretty damn good. Zoomed in on this camera. It's doing its best to keep it steady. That's digital zoom, by the way. If we go to optical, that's optical zoom. Not a bad camera, this. Spend nearly £400 on a new camera and then think, no, I like the old one. Anyway, more as it happens. even if you're not a religious type, I think if you come to Norwich, you've really got to come to the cathedral. It's absolutely amazing inside, the different sort of ages that the place has been through, some of the carving on the woodwork, the stonework, the amazing organ, and we're in the treasury where some of the stuff dating back to the 17th and 16th century, chalices, jugs, that kind of stuff. The service is just about to start for Easter Monday, and we're going to be leaving the cathedral, having a look at the cloisters, and then we'll walk around some of the very old streets and head into modern day Norwich for a touch of shopping. But as I say, if you come to Norwich, do give the visit to the cathedral a good while, because it's a very large place and really takes some time. And it's really, even if you're not, as I said, overly religious, just come here and chill and think and contemplate. Anyway, more as it happens. So we've just been wandering around the sort of back streets of Norwich, and me and Sheila have commented on just how lovely Norwich is. It's full of, little shops and chain stores and places to eat, and it's got a really lovely atmosphere about it. I know this is Bank Holiday Monday, and it's not the busiest. There's a market over here, for example, that's not open. But I think actually if you're going to come to Norwich, then you've got to think about the bigger picture and spend the whole day here. And you know, there's places to drink, places to go out in the evening, places to eat, Zizzi's, Italian, the Tusker, all sorts of places. Then you've got your shopping, your boutique stores, and your main sort of high street stuff. So everybody's catered here completely. So shame about the weather, shame it's a bit of a sort of a dull day, and it's Bank Holiday Monday, so not everywhere's open sort of thing. But we're having a nice time walking around. We're going to get a bite to eat, and then we're going to get some food, and then for the boat, that is for me, back on board, and then we'll leave and we'll sort out Sheila's cab and back to the station later on. She hasn't got to be on the train until 7 this evening, so that's not a problem. Might even go back to the ferry house at Surlingham for overnight for me, and then she can go a cab from there. But we'll see, more as it happens. So I'm reverting back to the old blog camera to film this. We're just leaving the yacht station, and as you can see, Sheila is with me. She was contemplating staying on her own in Norwich for about 4 hours, but there's a big football match and there's a lot of noisy people and stuff, so she decided to come with me. We've got 10-foot clearance at the bridge here, which the yacht master said means that Trouse will probably mean 9 foot. So we're going to try and get under Trouse. If not, we'll turn around and we'll be overnighting here anyway. So literally, we don't know, more as it happens. So we've just got under Trouse Railway Bridge, and there was enough room. In fact, there was about a foot of clearance apparently, according to my second in command. That was the eyes and ears. Although, what might you expect to be told that it was okay to go under the bridge? There's plenty of room. Oh, there's more than a foot. Go for it. No. I get told it's way too far. It's way too far. And I'm like, go back, forward, what's way too far? Anyway, we got under, and so now we can proceed upriver and find somewhere nice tomorrow. And what's the time? 2:10. So and there's a big football game kicking off, Norwich v I don't know who, but the sun has come out, and I must admit, this is the camera I've been using. This is the new blog camera. Okay, it's chunky. I have to hold it on this to use it. It's got a a proper lens on it, and it weighs quite a few pounds. And it's obviously, well, double the price of this camera. But I think actually to do as a blog, that I think could be great for some scenic outdoor shots. But for picking up the camera and steady shot and just moving it around to where I want to be, and lightness, and then just bung it in my pocket and not thinking twice about it, it really can't beat the old one, which is the DSC-WX100 from Sony. I'm shooting this at 1080p MP4. That shoots at 1080p AVC HD, 50 frames a second. This is at 25 frames a second. This camera that I'm holding right now will shoot in that format, but I haven't gone into the menus and selected all the stuff. So AVC HD is a new format for me. I'm usually using MP4. Don't worry if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's just compression, codecs of, basically how it turns the raw footage into something that video editing software can understand. And there's different people that come up with different ways of doing it. MP4 and oh, what's the other one? Can't remember. But yes, MPEG like 1, 2 which is usually used for DVD. But it's all about making the best use of the available frame data. So for example, all of this moving stuff is consuming vast amounts of data, but the codec will recognize that this surface here, well, that's not really moving very much, so it doesn't have to worry about that too much. And it's why, especially if you say watching iPlayer or YouTube, and there's especially sparkly water like the sea with the sun rays on it, that's hell for compression technology, because it's such a lot of movement, and it's trying to keep it compressed, but it's trying to keep it quality at the same time. I have just been boring you, but on our right hand side is a Moonraker, built in the 1970s, the late 70s, these boats. I think they look just as good today. A proper sort of mean seagoing sort of look about them. You can pick them up nowadays for about, I suppose, 28,000 to about 35,000. Depends if they've got the flybridge and what engines they come with. But they're still regarded. And the company that made those also produced the Marauder, which is even more sexy. And very, very few of them were built, and very few exist to this day. But if you can imagine something that's just very pointy. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm going on quite a bit. Yeah. Anyway. So basically the Marauder is a boat that is very of its time. I think the problem with all of the boats these days, Princess, Fairline, you know, to name but two, their boats all look pretty much the same. They're kind of just these bulbous, very, almost like a jelly mould, you know. They've got rid of sort of very sleek pointed lines and rakish windows, and they've gone more for kind of curves, and, you know, I think that, you know, the best looking boats are the ones that have the best lines, not necessarily ones that, you know, just look bulbous or smooth. And I've got something in front of me I've got to watch out for. I'll just show you. This is, I think, the new ferry that's running. I heard about this recently. It's new, and it leaves. This is the Whitlingham County Park. It was a former quarry that they've sort of flooded, and there's all sorts of boating activities, and the solar-powered Broads Authority boat Ra also goes from there. So there's a big lake, and there's all sorts of fun things going on in there. And so there's this ferry, and so it is new. I don't know where it goes to. I think it might go from here to Thorpe, but it's got people on it, as you can see. It looks very smart. So, you know, good luck. It's always good to see, you know, passenger boats, even if they're small. I mean, that's great. You just come down there and wait for the ferry. When he departed, I thought he was going to come this way. That's why I thought, you know, shut up, Robin. Stop talking about boat design and concentrate on the river. But, yeah, so as I was saying, boats of the 70s, the 80s, I think really did well in their terms of looks, from small ones like, say, you know, a Princess 30 like this to a Princess 45. They really have a presence, a feel. Ocean 42s, 37s from Broome, for example. But these days it's just like, you know, like the bathing platform is no longer square, it has to be rounded, and they have these big bulbous sides to them, and curved windscreens and curved this and that. And I know that, you know, a lot of the time people think, well, you know, it's about being curvaceous, it's the new thing. But I prefer the old lines of boats personally. That's just like, I was looking at some of the amazing cruise ships the other day. None of these horrible things that go around the Caribbean that just look like floating tower blocks that have been put on their side. But like the United States, I think it's called the United States. It was like the flagship US cruise liner that cruised between like New York and Southampton, and it's so sleek. It's not too high. It's rightly proportioned. The way the bow comes up, incredibly fast for its day. You know, it just looks like a bloody good boat, and it's in a terrible state. It's rotting away. There's a website that's set up where you can, like, you know, donate or, you know, buy your bit of the boat, and the money goes towards helping to renovate it. But it is an incredible job, because just the paintwork alone you know, before you do anything else to it. But when you see these cruise liners, again, before the sort of the air travel took over, that was, yeah, obviously going over there to Thorpe, that ferry, but you know, that was a viable, luxurious way to cross the channel. And because now we've got, like, you know, cruise around the Caribbean and the Bahamas and everything else, they're so big, they're not really like a boat anymore. You know, it's like a hotel with a casino and dance floors and cinemas, and you know, you can go to the gym, you can go for swimming in the various pools, and you know, it's taking away the fact you're at sea, apart from when you look out the window and you go, oh look, we're at sea. So I suppose I'm just a bit old-fashioned in my likes, but like when I come to looking at boats, even to hire, there's certain boats that I just think, and I never would ever think, ugh, you know, but each their own. Even classic, some of the classic wooden boats that have been produced over the years have, you know, looked a bit odd to me, and yet some others, like, you know, Broom or Jack Powell's boats, seem to have just got it spot on. So now I've generally gone on far too much, and the captain's blog, it's taken a while to get going, but he's actually reached that point, and he's reached the crescendo of pointless commentary on the river. I don't know where we're going to. Okay, so a little update for you, just a few minutes since I spoke last. So I think we're going to head for Bramerton first of all, because that's a lovely quiet mooring. There's the pub there, road access, easy, not too far outside of Norwich, so that would be absolutely ideal for an overnight. Although, to be honest with you, it's only 20 past 2, I feel a bit guilty, you know, overnighting. Oh, that's it, I'm alright here for the night at, you know, 3 o'clock. I'm used to, you know, travelling further and faster. Still a bit confused about what's going on with our situation here. Just thought I'd point this out. Yesterday we were at Reedham, I called Barnes Brink Craft, they came and replaced a battery that had 2 dead cells. I think I explained that when that happens, it sucks down the other batteries, so they're not performing. So we got a new battery to replace that, and obviously the other batteries wouldn't have been getting their share of the charge. So we went from Reedham to Surlingham, and now we've gone from Surlingham to Norwich, and now we're back heading the way we came. But before the battery was replaced, the voltmeter would go all the way up to 14, and now it just gets to about 13 and that much. And I don't know if that's correct. You know, why did it go to 14 before and now it's not? Now when you turn the engine off, it rapidly goes down to 12, but it does sit at 12. But I haven't used anything. I can't say, you know, last night we were in the pub and today we've had the heater on when we're going along, so I don't know if that's just, you know, it'll sit at 12 and be happy all day at 12 and very slowly, you know, go to 11 and so on and so forth. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. Otherwise, as you can see, this boat keeps a good little cool temperature going, nothing even when you're at high revs. The oil pressure and the engine hours, as you can see now, we've done 13,000 and something 35, and I believe that's a genuine. I don't think this engine's had an engine change, or this boat's had an engine change, but yeah, built by Moore & Co. And you've got your various sort of switch panel here, heater switch. Lovely to have a thermostatically controlled one, so you can just have it on low when you need it, and on high when you need it in the morning, sort of thing, for a bit more heat. Nice to see a stereo radio cassette with an auxiliary input, so you can plug a cable in there to your phone and then, you know, have your music come from your collection rather than having CDs. And the lighter socket, excellent, just there. Put a USB plug in to charge your phone off. What more could you want? So I'll update you when we get to Bramerton if there's a mooring space there. If not, we've got hours before I need to start worrying about, you know, where we're going to go for Sheila. Because unfortunately she's just had the Easter holiday basically off. Back to work on Tuesday, and then Tuesday evening she's moving to just down the road really from where she lives at the present time, so a bit closer to me. But basically the place where she lives, the landlady, is taking advantage, and it's never been very nice, so she's found a nicer room. I'm just telling you about your new place.
Oh.
And yeah, so much nicer and a little bit more money, but we were looking today in Norwich, and for the price of like what we pay in London, we could have like a 2-bedroom flat, maybe even with a garden. I said, alright, that's it, love, let's move up to Norwich. I'll have the boat.
Oh.
Oh.
That doesn't fit there.
I'm so spoiled, you shouldn't be doing all this.
Why?
Because when you're gone,
Yeah.
I'll have to be, you know, fending on myself.
Well.
I'm used to doing it, but
Want me to put your donuts in here?
yeah, it's fine. I don't know why I bought those crackers, because I didn't buy any cheese.
Didn't you?
No. I've got in my basket some red wine. I thought I'd get some nice cheeses, and then I can have nice sort of cheese and red wine.
Yeah, I thought so.
And I've ended up with just the cream crackers, no cheese or red wine. I was going to say I'll feed them to the ducks, but even then the ducks were like, it's a bit dry, Harry. here we are at Bramerton Common. It's a really lovely moorings here. I've got an electric post that I've been able to plug into. Put a £1 credit on, there was already 10p left, but that'll keep me well and truly juiced up overnight as far as power goes. Called the cab company, they're going to come and pick us up. We're going to wander down to the pub because they weren't too sure exactly where the pull-in just by the green here was. So because it's quite important to actually get you know, a cab for Sheila to the station, we're going to pop down to the pub, and the cab will come there and I'll be spending the evening here. So it's a very nice place to be. Got the green here, it's very quiet. It's popular mooring though usually, but I'm happy. So it's an end to the day quite early today as things go really. The time now is just 25 minutes past 3, and as you know, normally I'm much more, you know, further on, if you like, into the evening. But I've been thinking, and as we just look out across the river here and the moorings, what I've been thinking about is that there's probably not as much of a chance of getting this boat under London Bridge. So maybe instead of sort of making my way up north and spending more of the remaining time on the northern rivers, that perhaps the best idea will be to maybe explore a bit more down south and maybe head tomorrow towards somewhere like Alton Broad, for example, and you know, just enjoy some of the more quiet surroundings and beauty that the southern rivers have to offer, and then still have time obviously to head up north and you know, just probably miss out the River Anne. It's just that this boat is, as I've mentioned previously, quite tall, and even though there is a bit of leeway at London Bridge, there's not that much, and you know, I think you'd have to time your passage rather carefully, to say the least. But I really don't know. I'm not going to plan too much. The plan for right now is, you know, 6 o'clock comes, Sheila's going to get a cab, and then I don't know, I'm going to have a simple dinner tonight on board and an early night. And tomorrow I'll get up early and cruise to, you know, wherever and whatever. I really don't know. One thing's for certain though, I think I'll be sticking with the old blog camera. Who knows what the quality comparison's like between this. It's just that this camera here is so chunky and heavy, but I've invested quite a lot in it, in new memory cards, batteries. I've got some filters, polarizing filter, a neutral density filter, something that makes what they sort of, I don't know, Top Gear filter, you know, where it changes like the certain delicate colours of the camera, and something like that. I don't know, looked interesting, I got it anyway. But I mean, it's an absolutely fabulous camera, and you can buy lenses, and I believe you can use Olympus lenses on here if you buy an adapter to make the autofocus work with them, and the auto exposure, and you can use those, or you can also have an adapter and use other Sony lenses. So you've got a lot of choice with this. It's a sort of a proper camera. It's the world's smallest and lightest system camera, but you know, it's got some nice features on it. For example, you know, the screen flips up, so you can then, when you're recording yourself, you can see yourself on the screen, but then I constantly look at the screen and not the lens, so that's maybe not so good. It's got a very nifty pop-up flash here, you see, that comes up like that. I mean, the sort of the design element that has to go into hinged to do a flash like that, you know. But yeah, the only thing is, it is quite a weight, and this one here is so light you barely notice it in your hand, and the action can be very stable with the steady shot on here, and you can do really nice slow pans and stuff. So for a cheap point and shoot, this camera certainly sort of punches above its weight, I think. But that's it for today. What's today, honey? Is it day 2 or 3? It's 3.
3, I think.
It's 3. So they soon rattle past. So yes, I'll join me on day 4 when it will just be me, and we don't know where we're going, but we'll obviously pack a lot in tomorrow. Until then, if you have been, Thanks for watching.